Hi Shirali, how are you?
Good, Gary. How are you? Good evening.
Good evening, good evening. Thank you so much for joining in today's session. And the good thing about having a webinar is we can get experts like yourself who are outside of Auckland to
Yep.
come and contribute as well,
Anytime.
which is very important. We have so much of talent all over the country. Because we don't have much time, I will not read out your entire profile. We've sent your profile to everyone, but we know that you are a subject matter expert. You're working with the University of Waikato right now, and you've had around more than 17 years of experience in this field, helping people and students as well.
Yep.
You have a great wealth of experience, and thank you for sharing your wisdom with our cohort today. And I believe you have some tips and tricks to tell us about CVs and interviews
Yep.
in New Zealand. I know we are not giving you much time, and that's not doing justice. It's a very vast topic. You may be really struggling on what to say and what not to say. So, what I would recommend is just keep it top of the line,
Yep.
more of do's and don'ts,
Yep.
so that can be like practical tips that can help people. Yeah. Right. So, over to you, Shirali. Do you have a presentation which you want to share?
Yes, I will share that. First of all, thank you, Gary, for giving this opportunity. I'm really pleased to be part. And thank you, Mr. Samir. I think that was quite an informative talk. And I
Mm.
do sleep over fight as well. So that's my secret as well.
Okay.
Sleep over a fight.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. Can you see my screen, Gary?
Yes, yes, we can see a
Okay.
screen. Yeah, I
So
can see.
I'm going to share my presentation from AI. So I've
Okay.
used the AI
Wow.
now. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought
You
since
are
we,
you are a step ahead than everyone.
yeah, I teach that in the university, right? Like how to use
Okay.
digital business. And also I thought, let me
Okay.
give this a try. So my first time using AI presentation. So let's see how it
Sure.
goes.
Wow.
And yep, so good evening to everyone who is here. And yes, the topic, as Gary rightly said, it's a quite a vast topic. So I will try to cover as much key points as possible about New Zealand style CV and interview. Gary has kindly introduced me, so I'm going to skip this slide. And one thing, Gary, you forgot to mention, my substantial experience comes from being a manager in the bank. So I
Okay.
am,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, so that's
Okay.
my core
Good.
experience. So
Okay. Okay.
right. So let's jump into the topic on hand. And the first thing I'll be talking about is the New Zealand style CV. And I've got few links up here to show you, which I may not be able to go in detail today. But what I will do, Gary, is I'll share this entire presentation with you, not just my contact details, which you already have, but I'll share this entire thing with you so people can read it and click on those links and explore stuff on their own, right? So when we talk about a CV, a New Zealand base or style CV, remember that there are two types, main types of CV. One is skills-based and one is work experience-based. Skills-based CV is suitable for people who are changing their careers, just leaving the school, colleges, looking for work, and anyone who has a non-traditional work history, so that we are able to highlight our abilities, our skills, our achievements, right? But when we talk about a work experience-based CV, this is for those candidates with relevant and significant work experience, where we demonstrate our metrics, like how good have we done. Quickly, I'll show you, and I have given these links later on. Skills-based CV, your skills come on the top, you focus on your technical, personal skills, right? And then you talk about your work history, because you might feel this work history isn't as relevant as it should be. Whereas work-based CV, look at the difference. We start with the work history, we highlight that, the qualifications, and then we talk about our skills and other stuff, right? So this is the key difference between the CV. So whenever you are applying in New Zealand, and this is something, when I came over here to New Zealand myself, I wasn't aware of these things. Like, how should I put myself, even though I'd come with 12 years of experience? Then I realized there are some things which I have to do. And one thing which helped me for that was this website of New Zealand government, which is called as careers.govt.nz, which covers everything. And this I came to know maybe after 2 or 3 years. that there is a portal available, and here I have all the tools from getting a CV built to what creating my cover letters, creating my profile, how to handle interviews, everything is mentioned over here, right? So some of the things which I'm going to talk about is from the government's website perspective. So remember that whenever you are uploading you're applying for a job, the recruiters will not take more than 20 seconds to scan your CV. They just want to quickly go through like what if you are relevant for that particular job. So make your CV look good. Yep. So some things which I mentioned, make it easy to read, use a professional font like Arial, Times New Roman, use short sentences, keep your tone formal, don't use slangs, and have strong headings and white space in the CV. So if you can see a lot of white space, strong headings, bold headings, which will immediately draw to a person that what is this section going to talk about, right? And let your accomplishments speak for yours from themselves, and keep your CV to less than 2 pages. Ideally, like, there are people like even my own CV, I have it for around, I don't know, 5 to 6 pages, which is not very ideal because you want to showcase a lot of your stuff, a lot of your achievements. But New Zealand, maximum 2.5 pages would be a good enough resume. Now, what to include in your resume, what to include in your CV? Show your skills, technical, personal skills, and I have given you a list over here about some examples of what can be your technical skills, what can be your personal skills, right? Highlight your experience, especially if it's a work-based CV. And this is one point which I think is very important, especially in New Zealand, that you should volunteer your volunteer experience. You should show your volunteer experience, your community experience. Because here, and that's my personal experience as well, that's going to differentiate between if there are multiple candidates for a role, that what are you doing back for the community? It could be as simple as, you are volunteering at Red Cross or any other any shops. You could be doing some kind of reading for aged home. You could be doing any kind of cleaning up, cleaning services. So these you might feel at this point of time, it's going to be an unpaid work. How is it going to benefit me? But volunteer work over here in New Zealand carries equal weightage as paid work. It's really appreciated, and it shows that you are a good candidate, right? Add some personality to your CV. So objectives and personal statements, which I'll talk about next. Show your unique strengths, show your interest. And this is very important, that each job which you're applying for has to be customized. Your CV has to be customized, right? So we might, we sit on Seek, we sit on Trade Me, and we apply for 10, 15 jobs using the same CV. That's not how it works. You will have to, and I'll show you a few tricks for that, that you need to identify that what is the specific information of this particular role, which is matching with me. And then you have to talk about that. So teaching philosophy for a teacher, programming languages for an IT professional, relevant projects, you have to include that in your CV. Now, when we talk about do's, we have to talk about don'ts. Photographs, a big no, simply because it can lead to an unconscious bias. It might not be, people might see just by your face, they might come to know, judge you based on your ethnicity or your gender and stuff. So avoid the photographs. Don't use any complicated fonts, which I said earlier. Keep it simple because it's going to distract from your skills. Don't put a lot of personal information like your age, marital status. And this is one thing I have seen a lot of my friends from India, for example, they put their age, their marital status, all those details. We don't do that here. It's a privacy thing and it's not relevant to the job, right? Now, this for me is a deal breaker, spelling and text mistakes. You might have an excellent looking CV, you might have everything looking prim and proper, but one spelling mistake or one grammar mistake, it can just make your CV look unprofessional. So proofread your CV every time you upload it and see how it looks, right? Based on the job, include only that job related work experience and not irrelevant jobs. You might have done, especially when we come to New Zealand, we might do 10 different jobs. It could be anything, like smallish jobs. That's fine, absolutely okay. But is it actually required to go on the CV for that particular role? Or do you want to stick to your job related skills and experience, right? And very important, New Zealand, we are an honest country. So don't exaggerate things, don't make up things, just be honest and tell about your experience and skills, right? Now, in the CV, as you would have noticed that we put contact details, right? So we have mentioned contact details over here. Make sure that you put your name large and bold. Now, when I talk about large and bold, it doesn't mean that it needs to be really big size, but your name should be quite in a bigger font than the other stuff. Yep. Postal address, we put phone number if you're putting on your CV, because there are times recruiters might call you, right? So there should be a voicemail message which is polite and professional. So don't have some hanky-panky things going on, in your voicemail messages. Keep it simple, keep it professional, and your email address should be something, which is appropriate. Because I have seen a lot of people putting, like Jami1 through 123 at gmail.com, whether the name could be something else. Doesn't look good. Right? Just keep it simple, keep it professional. If it's with your name, that's going to be the best thing. And online presence. Here in New Zealand, there's one thing which, again, personal experience, that LinkedIn profiles, your professional websites are 99% checked by your recruiters to see how it is looking, how you're connected well, right? So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, please create it, connect with good people, make it very professional. And this is going to help, again, showcasing your skills and experience. And you can give a link to your LinkedIn profile in your CV. Yep. So I was speaking something about objectives and personal statements, right? So if you see any of the CV skill-based or work-based, they have an objective, they have a personal statement, right? So objective simply tells the employer that what kind of job you're looking for and why you are the best fit for it. And I have mentioned an example for everything. I will not read it out because of the paucity of time, but being very specific that I'm a sales manager, I can do this for the company, I can increase revenue, I can increase market share, I'm the best for it. Whereas personal statement is more about who you are, what you can offer, right? So if you're a teacher, I have worked as a teacher for 10 years, variety of subjects, experience and skill set make me perfect fit for your team. So you're talking about more of your passion over here, right? So these two things should be a part of your CV. Now, when you submit your CV, there's one more thing which we submit along with that is a cover letter, right? Cover letter, let me show you an example, is basically you are telling a short story about yourself. And this is the first thing which a recruiter will read. So your cover letter, again, needs to be like, quite formal. It needs to be warm. And it preferably, it should address the recruiter. Generally, we put dear recruitment manager. So that means, you haven't actually taken pains to know who is advertising the job. So this is one thing which I have noticed. If you actually address the person, if it's like possible and if it is available, it really creates a good impact. Right? So in this cover letter, again, you are showcasing your skills. You are going to briefly highlight your experience and your tone. The way you write it needs to be persuasive, that the employer should feel, yes, I should at least go through the CV, right? Use strong, confident words like I have, I can, and not weak words like some knowledge, I'm fairly experienced. No, I have done this, I can do this. It's going to show your positive attitude, right? Use bullet points to list information. If there is some key information to be listed, just put them into the bullet points that I can do this, I have done this, right? Avoid starting every sentence with I. So you might need to do a bit of sentence structuring over there and keep your letter to one page. No one wants to read, like a novel of a cover letter. One page is sufficient. Now, below this, I have given these uh, links to the websites, which I have shown you over here. So Gary, when I share it with you, all you guys have to do is click in this open in new tab and these links will open for you. Right? Now, as I was talking earlier about customizing your cover letter for each job, it can be a bit daunting, right? Because every single time you have to keep on reading a job description and then you have to keep on changing it. Now, let me show you something. This website, again, in the careers.gov, there is something called as a CV builder, right? If you click on it and you put your information, it will help you to customize your job, your CV for each and every job. So you will have to create an account, go to the CV builder, and then it will automatically create CV for you. Second thing, since we are in the world of AI now, there is this website called as Kick Resume. the AI will write a resume for you. So you just have to put your name into it, and you have to like, for whichever job you have applied, what is the job title? So retail manager, business operations manager, and it's going to generate that resume for you. An example of which is this. This entire resume looks beautiful, looks professional. It's got all the ticks of, white spacing, highlighting. But when you look at it, it's written by AI. Yep. So something, and as of now, I think they do have some free offers going on. So I would say that take the best use of it. Yep. So, and then there's one more thing which I wanted to show you about customizing, that there is this Chrome extension called as Jobalytics. I don't know how many of you would have heard of it. It's basically a resume keyword analyzer. So what we do in this is that, let's say that I'm searching for a job of a retail manager, right? I'm looking at on Seek. Now I have to customize my CV, as I said, for each and every application. So since I have this Chrome extension done, so I'm going to click on that. Yep, I am going to click on Analyze Job Description. I'm going to upload, let's say, one job description which I had uploaded, skills-based one. It's showing me the 22% resume matches there, which means, and the good thing about this Chrome extension, it shows me what's matching and what's missing, right? So if I look at this, it highlights me that, okay, small vision, this red ones are the ones which are missing from my resume. So I can quickly go back to my resume. I can include what's missing in it, right? And then I can upload it. And if not 100%, it will at least have a good chance of matching with what the recruiter is looking for. Because we use all the recruiters, if they have, like 100 applications or even 50 applications, they all use softwares to filter the applications. And the way they filter it, seeing that job description, how much is it matching with the CV, right? So highlight your key competencies, cover letters, your CV, use examples of that, use active verbs like achieved, streamlined. These are very important to show the impact you have created. Quantify your achievements. I have helped my company in increasing the sales. How much sales? Yeah, 25% within 6 months through targeted marketing strategies, very specific. So that's going to help this recruiter know exactly about your capability, right? Again, I have given you these key websites, which I showed you, CV Builder, Cake Resume, and Jobalytics, which you can try, and it's going to be really, really good and quick, helpful in customizing your stuff. So that was a quick thing about the CVs. Now I'll talk a little bit about the interview tips. Right now, the interview, once the hurdle of resume is gone through, you have got a job interview now. Now, the first thing is first impressions count. And that's something, we all know that the first impression is a last impression. So you have to make sure that when you go for an interview, first of all, in New Zealand, I would say anywhere, but sometimes, like we think it's good to be fashionably late, but no, not in New Zealand. We like to be punctual over here. So especially in an interview, try to arrive even 10 to 15 minutes beforehand. It's not only good manners or showing them you're reliable, you're respecting the time, but it also gives you a bit of time to breathe down, maybe quickly go to the washroom, freshen yourself up, streamline your thoughts and be prepared. Dress smartly. I think the best bet, unless specified, is just go for the business attire. Formal attire, smart casuals, unless they say that we don't care about what you wear, which is very rare. And your accessories. Your attire might be all perfect, but the tie you wear or the earrings you wear, are they appropriate for the occasion? So keep it simple, keep it professional. Smile and make eye contact. Now, this might seem like, again, a very small thing, but it creates a lot of difference. When you smile, you look at people, they come to know that you are friendly and approachable. And this is one personal tip from my end, something which I have highly regard, that from the moment you enter the building, whether it is the security guard, the receptionist, anyone you encounter, please be courteous and professional to them as well. Anyone can be asked to give a feedback about you. Anyone. Okay, we never know that, and there could be people watching your behavior. So that's a little bit of, before actual interview, how are you actually as a person, right? Now, before you go into the interview, this is something like a homework you have to do for the interview. Read thoroughly what is the job description. Check what the company is all about. Be fully, like prepared to talk about your qualifications, experiences. This particular thing, very important. You have to research about the company's values. What are they doing currently? What is their future plan? When you speak about this in the interview, they will think that, yes, this person has done their homework and they are passionate for the role. Check your own alignment values with the company's values. See if they are actually a good fit for you. In a hurry to get a job, you might accept it, and then 3 months down the line, you might say, no, it's not for me. You will not have satisfaction, right? So if you check their values, you see your own values, good fit, excellent. Now, this last point, questions to ask at the end. Now, this I have 99.9% of the interviews, they will always ask you, is there something you want to ask me? And sometimes we make the mistake of saying, no, all good, it's all okay. But you should prepare a few questions to ask at the end of the interviews to show your interest in the role and help you make an informed decision. So it could be any type of question, which could be like, and I'll show you a few examples over here. What type of work will you be doing? What training and progression opportunities are there? What are the people like? What is the organization like? Right? And there are some questions in this link which also are there, which you should not ask. What does your company do? That means you don't even know what you're applying for. How much does this job pay? Can I take time off? So do's and don'ts, you should always ask, especially about the training progression and about the culture and the people you will be working with. Very, very important, right? And now when you're actually answering the question, speak with confidence. Now, when I talk about speaking with confidence and, good communication skills, one thing which I think is very important is to vary your tone. Sometimes, we speak in one dead tone, flat tone. There's no ups and downs articulation. It just seems that, you're being robotic. So just vary your tone. That comes naturally to us. Make it sound you're engaged or interested. Take a moment to think before you're answering the question so that you don't jump into an answer just because you had. No interviewer will tell you have 5 seconds to answer. Give it a good thought, then talk about your answer. Listen to the question. If you don't understand what the question is, what needs to be answered, ask them back. Don't feel shy. Here in New Zealand, the interviews generally, they are very informal. They are not, nothing to be scared of. The people are very friendly. So you can always ask them that, what is it that you want to do? Now, this last point, again, from a personal experience, during the interview, if you have worked previously, do not criticize or say anything bad about your previous employers or co-workers. Okay, focus on your skills, focus on your experiences, show them you're a positive and forward-thinking candidate. You don't have to badmouth anybody, right? So some common interview questions in New Zealand, since we're running out of time, and I have given you, given you a few links over here. Most difficult interview questions with their answers, sample answers.
Wow.
And then, yeah, most common NZ job interview questions with answers. There's a big link on that. And yeah, I'll come to that one in a minute. So greatest strength, greatest weakness, convert your weakness into an opportunity, right? Why do you want to work for this company? So you have to do a research on that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, this question, don't tell the recruiter that, I see in the CEO's position, or I see, this. Yeah, I have seen people saying answers like that. Okay, so you're not there to take their jobs, but
Mm,
align that your see your 5 years with the company's career growth. So that's why if you check the company's future plans, you can say that, yes, I see myself doing that with your
mm,
company, right? So these few websites, difficult questions, most common
wow.
questions you can ask at the end of the interview, all links I have given, right? The final thing which I
Mhm,
want to talk about is something called as a star format questions. This is more of behavioral questions where they ask you about, give me a situation where you demonstrated XYZ. your leadership skills, or your customer resolution skills, or your problem making decisions, any situation they will give you. So when they ask you, it's called STAR, stands for situation, task, action, and result. Yep. So this quickly I'll read out. Explain the situation you are in. There was once a situation when I faced a challenging customer service situation. So what did you do to resolve the situation? My role as a customer service representative was to address the concerns while maintaining company's reputation for excellent customer service. I also had to ensure that other customers were not affected.
mm,
Action, what actions did you take to complete the task? I was proactive. Look at the word over here, proactive, not waiting for someone to go and tell you, or look at the
mm,
customer, right? I was proactive in handling the situation, focused on quickly resolving the issue. I took the customer aside to check what the issue was. He informed me that he was unhappy with the product they had purchased and demanded a refund. And what was the result? I listened to the customer. I actively listened, empathized with the
mm,
frustration, assured of a solution, offered a replacement product, and provided a discount on their next gesture. So
mm.
these kind of questions are like mostly asked in the interviews over here, and you should always be prepared for these kind of behavioral questions. And this particular link which I have given is about the top 20 star interview questions and answers.
Wow.
Yep. So it will talk about all the stuff, right? From conflict resolution, when you disagreed with someone, when you disagreed with your manager, what did you do? Right.
Okay.
So this is about the star. So I have given this link, and there is one guide of complete guide to star method, which is here. I would strongly recommend, when I share this, do go through this particular guide. This is going to be the most important questions which will be asked. And you have,
Brilliant.
there are a lot of things which are examples given over here, which you have to prepare
Mm,
on your own, right?
okay.
And just polishing off this non-verbal cues during interviews. I've been talking about verbal skills and all, but body language, a positive body language, open body language, you keeping your shoulders open, straight, sitting straight, a firm handshake, and maintaining eye contact when you are talking with people around. These small soft skills are very, very important as well. Yep. So yeah, I think within half an hour I was able to
Yes.
talk
Wow.
on a
This
very,
is
very big
a
topic.
Yes, fantastic performance, Shirali. I think 100 out of 10. So you overperformed. This was really a challenge, and I was thinking I've asked you 30 minutes. My God, we generally do this in 4 hours. 2 hours on series and 2 hours on interviews. But the good thing is that you have really caught the key points. And what's fantastic is with the resources that you are sharing and the links that you're sharing. So thank you so much for that. I
No
think that
worries.
will be really helpful for people to, talk about. And also, one of the key things that you covered, I would just also want to share one of the experiences I had as an employer. Just recently, someone had sent a CV and said that I want to do something in marketing. And that CV was 8 pages long, and with so much of gaps between of things, and not formatted, not written properly. And I had to generally give a feedback that, if you can't market yourself, how will you, how will
Hmm.
you can say that you can market a company? So I think many times we don't realize that a CV is a reflection of yourself
Yep.
and your own professionalism.
True.
So I would recommend everyone to really take a good look at your CV. Engage with a career professional in case you are not sure. We have people like Dr. Shirali. You can write to us through our website. We can get you in touch with some of the career professionals we work with. They will be more than happy to support you. We also have a program called Career Clinic, in which we offer three 1 hour sessions free of cost with a career practitioner like Dr. Shirali. And Dr. Shirali is also part of that program. She's part of our expert talent pool. So please do yourself a favor by working on your CV. Work on your interview. You only have that one chance.
Yep.
So don't let that chance go. And yeah, that's all I think. And Shirali, you have shared such good golden nuggets of information. And I think if I had known this a few years ago, maybe I would have been doing better for myself.
You are doing very well. Come on. Yeah, but I don't want people to suffer. Like, I had such a hard time,
Yeah.
initially when I came over
Yes.
here, like there was so much of
Yes.
difficulties.
Yes.
But then
Yes.
I think over the time, whatever we have learned or I have learned, so
Yeah.
it's always good to share it with the people.
Yes. 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 So, any lasting words, Shirali, and then we can close today's session.
No, I think I'm all good from the last question you're asking me in
Hmm.
those questions to ask. No, I think
Hmm.
again I would like to thank you, Gary, for this initiative. And I think, it's good to network with people like Mr.
Yeah.
Samir, and it's good to
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
Amy
Yeah.
after a
Yes.
long
Yes.
time. So I think these
Yeah.
sessions
Yes.
definitely are
Yes.
very, very informative and very
Yeah.
much required for the the
Yeah.
migrant community. For
Yes. Yes.
anyone,
Yes.
but migrant
Yeah.
community will definitely benefit
Definitely, yeah.
from these.
Because we come from a different countries, different backgrounds,
Yep.
and many times we don't know, what's expected out of us
Yep.
in terms of that. So, no, so on that note, thank you, Shirali, and again, thank you, Samir. It's very important to understand the legal aspects of employment, and maybe we can have you again at a physical session, with a little bit more time in hand, where people can, ask questions and answer back. But just for everyone's information, this webinar will be on our YouTube page very soon, so that people all over the country can have a look and benefit from this. So, on that note, thank you so much to everyone who joined us online. And we will be sending this out to everyone, to our network. And thank you to our experts as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.
Good night. Bye bye. Bye.